Right, where are we? Are you going to give me a nod when we're recording?
We're on, Professor.
We are recording. Oh, right you are. Just a mo. Hello there. This is Simon de Montfort, 6th Earl of Leicester, known to many as the Professor. I have a short message for you. In fact, I have a gift. To commemorate this wonderful Halloween special, we've got a free offer for you. Episode 191, The Professor's Pressing Matter, has been released on Amazon as a Kindle book for your delectation. Additionally, this week and this week only, you can go to the Amazon Kindle store and download your copy for free. Bloody hell, that's good value, what? Oh, sorry about that. Compose yourself, Simon. It is free, though, and it is available this week and this week only. So do hop on over to Amazon wherever you are, download your free copy of episode 191, The Professor's Pressing Matter, and it will cost you bugger all. Right, sorry about that language. Over and out. See you later.
That must be the local? The local for locals. You know, pub, tavern, saloon, a bar.
I get it. The Faeton Arms? There's nothing here on Google Maps, and GPS says we're in the middle of Yorkshire, Surrey, Albuquerque, and off the coast of Singapore, all at the same time.
Weird. But it looks warm and dry in there, so wherever we are, I would like to be in there. Being warm and dry at least. I can hear people having fun in there, and judging by the people we've met so far, we can ruin that for them too.
Jim, before we go in there, I want you to know that no matter what happens to us, it's your fault.
Madam, I assume full responsibility for whatever is about to take place. Hopefully, that will mainly involve eating warm, bland food and drinking lots of warm, flavorless beer.
You sell it so well. I'm almost mildly excited to enter.
Okay then, shall we? Wait a minute, what's this plaque say here? The proprietor wishes you to know that magic and evil deeds will not go unpunished on these premises. Also, all trolls must be accompanied by a reasonable elven magic user? What? Must be some serious Dungeons and Dragons theme bar.
Fantastic nerdy cosplayers don't kill strangers, do they? You can be a 15th level cleric with the beard and tobacco pipe, and I can be, I don't know, a 20th level ranger with my wet, muddy boots.
The pair walked into the bar through the double doors. The shock of their entry passed like a wave through the dark denizens of the Faeton Arms. I was sitting deep in conversation with, well, a werewolf and possibly a friend. We both regarded the couple, I with worry, he with the hope that something amusingly horrible would happen to the pair of them. Fenrir, the giant wolf soul lying by the fire, also sat up to take in the next few moments. This was dangerous. Really dangerous. Something could happen. As it turned out, a goblin farted in the silence, giggled, and was quickly and quietly beaten to death, just to shut him up. And silence fell once more. In this bar, we had the most dangerous paranormal whatsits on the entire planet. I was sitting with probably the worst of them, but humans are so much more dangerous even than psychopathic werewolves. I may need to intervene here. I said to no one in particular. This place was supposed to be a safe space for such as those who supped here.
This is a Fae establishment for Fae people. I don't think they are our kind.
Will doing his level best to quote the League of Gentlemen. If you've never been to the Faeton Arms, which I assume you haven't, unless you're a member of the Fae, then I'll describe it for you. It's pretty simple, really. A medieval tavern with modern sound system that caters for the owner's love of karaoke. He's a retired djinn. Genie. His name is Bosworth, and he's been around for more centuries than should ever have been lived. Lived? Did he live? Who knows? Silence still hangs over the bar. The crackling of the fire and the disgusting squelching sound of a gremlin rotating a finger in his nostril are all that can be heard. Something drops a spoon. Strangely, a loud sound in this moment, and Fairy Daisy gasps at the creatures at the door. It took her a while to notice them. She'd been drinking heavily since lunch, you see. All eyes in the bar turned to stare at the pair as they entered. Typically, in reality, the number of eyes is roughly double the number of people. In this bar, however, there were a lot more eyes than double the number of entities. Mainly due to Gareth. What the hell is Gareth? Well, whatever he is, and I must get round to categorizing him at some stage, but that's for another time. He alone had over 100 eyes on and in his head. Most of them were his own as well. Interesting character, Gareth. Not difficult to see coming. I take my interest back to the pair. Very interesting. The first was a grey-haired older man with a camo cap who smiled widely as he looked around the bar. Already strange behavior. His glee at what he saw was utterly obvious. Oh dear, glee. Not a commonly seen emotion when beset by the denizens of the Faeton Arms. Again. The second person? A woman wearing a nice woolly beanie over her curls and sporting funky spectacles, turned from closing the door of the pub and covered her mouth in shock as she took it all in. This time, some proper behavior at the sight before her. A terrified scream was about to erupt, was it? Here we go. Any minute. Wait for it. Wait for it. Here it comes. Honestly, here it comes. Huh? No. She slowly removes the hand and... Oh, hang on a minute. She's excited by what she sees? Phew, I suppose, but... Oh, no. Excited? Excitement? Glee? What the... Oh, no, please, hang on. They're not just humans. No, it's much worse than that. They're tourists.
Hey, you guys look amazing, and this place is outstanding.
The man turned in a circle, arms wide, absorbing the pub's, ambience. Never thought this place had an ambience before, just excessive, thinginess. I follow where his gaze falls. His eyes have definitely not fallen on anything like ambience. I cringe a little at what I see, closing my eyes and returning them to the man. No ambience in here. Then something stirs a note of alarm in my brain. There is an itch in it that suggests something is out of sync. Oh no. Oh God, no. The man's accent. Oh, good God on high, no, not here, not now. Oh my God, not just humans. No, something far worse than humans. Tourists and American.
Wow.
That accent, the overwhelming enthusiasm. They simply have to be. I look at Bosworth, the owner, as he stands invisibly in a glowing pink neon robe. Remember, he's a genie type thing. The robes are empty, but somehow he gives me a worried look. I must spend far too much time in his place to recognize the emotions crossing an invisible face, but I do somehow recognize the worry in this one. I whisper across to him in the silence. How on earth did they get in here, Bozzy? I thought you had magical wards against, humans, let alone bloody tourists. He shrugs his invisible shoulders.
Hey, this is amazing. And you look incredible.
The only way to say it is using that damned word again. Her glee is genuine. I see Gizzard Plunge the Hideous. Not his full name, but the rest of it doesn't improve the description of him. I see him a scrofulatic ogre of putrescence, actually preening his, I think it was his hair. Difficult to tell. How? It's happening. The enthusiasm glamour is getting to the Fae here. The tourist glamour is working perverse magic on all who befall it.
Wow.
She says, wiping her glasses to clear the condensation and the last of the drizzle off them. She then starts to take off her gloves and jacket. One of the goblins starts to look excited and tries to wolf whistle. Thank goodness he can't manage it, as he tries to stare at his soundless lips with a face of accusation. We've had strippers in here, but not for the stripping. God, no. For takeaway delivery meals. The stripper always being the main course. And you know what goblins are like. Horrible, grubby little creatures. They only have one thing on their mind, and that being total and utter stupidity. The lady, yes, definitely a lady, not a stripper, after just removing her jacket, is now judiciously looking around the room, checking everything out meticulously. She actually has a lovely warm smile and the kind of look... No, Simon, fight it. That's how they get you. Don't fall for the friendly smile. It's like a vampire glamour. You'll be telling them about your family tree if you don't do anything to prevent it, and yours stops in the 12th century. She points at the candelabra in the center of the room, a candelabra that is not attached in any way to the ceiling. It simply floats, emitting a warm green glow. She walks closer to it in order to observe it properly. A look of confusion flashes across her face. Sadly, she asks the nearest thing to her a question.
How does that work?
I say sadly, because the nearest thing to her is an orc. 8 feet of psychotic savage muscle, armored with rusted steel and leather of unknown source. Well, looking at the leather, let's just say we have a good idea of where the skin has come from, but no one really wants to know, you see. The human should be terrified. She should be. I mean, the way the orc stinks alone should kill her. A sweaty orc is more vile than mustard gas. That's why we have to sit them far from the fire, and far from us. The orc is stunned by the woman speaking to him. His mouth hangs open, displaying broken teeth and expelling a new level of halitosis to the world. We can't say the orc is confused. I think that's their constant state, you see. But a human woman should be running and screaming at this point, not smiling at him and waiting for his reply with a warm, pleasant smile and genuine interest. This is new for him and different from what he's used to. For some reason, he doesn't want to bash her with his mace and skin her. There, I said it, didn't I? Can't take back that his leather armor is actually people leather. Is that bally tourist glamour?
That's magic, isn't it, lady?
Says the monster with a voice like rocks falling down a slope. I didn't know if this was going to go well or badly in that moment. It was on a knife's edge of... The woman, standing at eye level with the sitting orc, removed her beanie carefully, folded it, and placed it inside her jacket as she listened and nodded. And then, before straightening her glasses and pushing them back up her nose, she smiled at the confused creature and patted it on its huge shoulder.
Sure it is. I suppose you have to keep pretending, huh? Makes all this cosplaying. Or is it LARPing? More fun.
She said. There was a sharp intake of air from all the creatures around the room. The orc did nothing. Her interest turned to the horrific weapon in front of her, the orc's mace. This crudely made weapon was bigger than her entire body, and it sat on the table. She tried to lift it. I closed my eyes to shield my mind from how the orc would respond to this. It would be a short scream for sure. I'm ready. It was too late for me to get involved. It was already over. Yet, nothing. No sounds. Now, carefully peering out of the corner of my eye to try to make the resulting mess easier to cope with, I saw she was fine. And whole. Well, that was surprising. Normally it was seen as a great insult to have your weapon touched by anyone other than its owner in the orc world. Such a thing would always end in a fight to the death. Not a duel, a brutal and bloody fight. The touristy glamour was working. Who knew it had this level of power? Basically, the tourist glamour works because tourists have a lack of belief that anything horrible can ever happen when they're on vacation, as they say in the United States of America. They have insurance, and that's for illness and bag loss, so they can go to any part of the, dimensions, and those two outcomes are the worst things that can happen. Nothing awful can happen, like death or violence or their souls being sucked into the abyss or consumed by demons while they're away. As we know, if you have unswerving faith in something, that has a lot of power. And that's how the tourist glamour works. They believe so strongly that they can't be disliked by the, locals, let's call them, that they stay safe just because of their own sheer faith. That faith and that glamour were going to be tested to their limits tonight in the Faeton arms.
Gosh, I thought these were really light.
She said as she tried to use everything she had to lift the giant weapon. The orc helpfully reached over and lifted it as if it were nothing, between thumb and index finger.
My lady, this one isn't heavy. This one is my baby, isn't it?
He told her.
I thought they were made out of polystyrene. So you didn't hurt each other.
The orc looked all sorts of extra confused. He paused whilst he engaged both his brain cells.
No, this one hurts proper good, lady,
he said as he raised the weapon above his head, looking like he had the intention to swing it through her. An intention which would have instantly turned her into, pate. Not the coarse variety either.
I can show yous if you want me to, proper missus.
He said in what for him was a nice tone, as she looked innocently at the giant mace held high above her head. I stood and spoke. The room's clientele relaxed somewhere between disappointment and relief at the outcome. Crotch rop, dear chap. The orc's head turned towards me.
What is it?
Please don't, old thing,
All right, Prof.
was his reply as he put the mace back on the table with a colossal thud felt through the entire room's floor.
Hey, Shonda, come and look at this guy's costume. It's incredible. This mask.
I closed my eyes once again with a sigh before turning towards the source of the voice, with fear at what I would see when I opened them. I pivoted slowly and prepared to dare to open them. I found him. I found the man trying. He was trying to pull the face of a Minotaur. My heart sank. No, I said, a little more loudly than I should.
Oh no, this is gonna be fun,
Said Will, sitting up to pay attention at the table I'd just left. Fenrir giggled in my mind. This was a problem. A big problem. Literally. This was not just a Minotaur. I mean, any Minotaur would have been bad enough to annoy, but this... No. This was the Minotaur. This was Slothgut Throatripper, the chief of the Minotaur clan, the Sledgehammers. He made the orc, Crotchrot, look cute and cuddly. He was over 12 feet of, well, an easy description of him would be a bullman. Over 2 tons of testosterone-fueled bull creature. I grabbed the lady by the arm before bundling her over unceremoniously towards the death by Minotaur that was about to happen.
Sir, could I just have a chat with you?
I had a wheedling, pleading tone to my voice that I just despised.
Yes, Mr. Minotaur, we'd like to talk to you about our Lord Jesus Christ,
Will said. I gave him a bitter look that said that the last thing he said wasn't funny.
Sure, mate, what's up?
He said, turning his back on the about-to-be enraged Minotaur and presenting his arm and hand for me to shake. Thankfully, Minotaurs are not the quickest of thinkers. They're slow, probably due to their immense size and the time it takes their nervous system to kick in. I grabbed the man's hand and pulled him towards me, away from the Minotaur, which was busily turning its head left and right, trying to fix both its mad eyes on the creature before him. A creature that had just been pulling on the steering wheel-sized ring that pierced his nose. I shook the smiling man's hand, and thankfully Fliss, the beautiful bar elf, stepped in front of Slothgut. Her presence enough to calm any red-blooded male of any species down. I mouthed my thanks as I took the tourists back to my table. "Would you join us?" I asked her. "Yeesh, tourists."
Do they have to?
Will asked. The pair were behind me, so I gave him a look that I hoped would dispel this rudeness. I turned to the pair with an apologetic air. "He's joking, you understand. Northern English wit is a little harsh at times," I told them as I heard Will laugh. "Please, do sit down,"
Ah, yes, please do.
said Will with the poshest, most sarcastic tone he could manage. I kicked him in the shins below the table. "Tosser,"
Yeah, sure, mate.
the man said as he took a seat, the woman sitting in the chair next to him, smiling.
Hi, I'm Shonda. This is Jim.
She told us as she made the introductions. I returned the introductions for both of us. Jim turned towards Will.
So you like jokes then, right, Will?
He asked. Will looked at me. I nodded at him.
Apparently so.
He replied before emptying his glass.
Fliss,
I called.
4 pints of your finest ale.
She nodded. I returned to the conversation at hand.
Thank you most kindly for your hospitality.
No problem.
I told her, trying to hide the fact that if they drank anything else that was offered here but the ale, they would probably die instantly.
Do they have any hot soup?
No, I'm afraid not.
But it says right here on the sign, vegan soup available. I like vegan food.
Well, I didn't have the heart to tell her the soup was actually made from vegans. Apparently they have a distinct taste, you know. I mean, I wouldn't know. I've never tried it. Obviously.
I highly recommend it. Get a nice big bowl down you. Strange how they make vegans taste of bacon. Weird, isn't it?
Will said, meeting my eyes to see how I was going to deal with what he'd just said.
Must be tofu.
Sorry, they finished doing food.
I told her. The room returned to as normal as it gets. Everyone and thing resumed what they were doing. Talking, drinking, playing chess, and being tortured by darts. I breathed a little easier.
Nice looking group. Hey, what's that thing on the wall?
He asked as he pointed at the pentangle painted on the wall in blood.
Is it part of the game with the candles and all?
Game.
Will snorted.
It's a 5-pointed star.
Maybe the owners are from Texas.
He laughed.
Remember the Alamo?
I beg your pardon?
I remember the Alamo. I saw it once in London. Leicester Square.
You did?
I mean the film, obvs. I saw it in the cinema. With the Duke, John Wayne.
Oh, yeah, of course. Right, with Lawrence Harvey, and everybody died in it. It was bloody.
Yeah, bloody awful if you ask me.
Said Will, trying to disengage from the conversation.
Hey, Will, so you like jokes, right? Have you guys heard the one about the crashing plane?
No, but we're about to.
She said, giving a good-humored laugh.
Oh, come on, Shonda. Let me tell it. You know it's funny.
Okay.
Oh, forget it. I'm not even going to tell it now.
He pretended to be hurt. The man was being playful.
Oh, come on, tell us.
Oh, no. You had the chance of my great joke.
Come on, please.
Yeah, Jim, please.
All right, now you're talking. Okay, there was this airplane over the Atlantic on its way to New York. It was full of men from the United Nations.
That's very funny, that is.
Hey, now let me finish. So, halfway over the ocean, the engines run low on fuel. So they have to lighten the load on the plane. So they heave out all the baggage, but it's still too heavy. So they chuck out the seats. It's still too heavy. Finally, this French guy steps up and shouts, "Vive la France!" and leaps out. Then an Englishman
Here.
steps up and shouts, "God save the king," and jumps out. But the plane is still too heavy. So the American delegate from Texas steps up and shouts, "Remember the Alamo," and chucks out the Mexican.
We laughed. We happy few, we band of new acquaintances. For here today, that joke, we understood. Sadly, there was a tumbleweed level of silence from the creatures in the bar.
That was actually pretty funny, but I'm afraid the bar doesn't get the reference. They don't know much about history after the 16th century, you see.
Allow me to suggest an alternative punchline, if I may.
I swept to my feet, the practiced orator, and addressed the room.
Ahem. The Englishman stands up and yells, "Remember Agincourt!" and he chucks out the Frenchie!
I don't get it. The Frenchman was already out of the plane.
It's just a matter of cultural context, old chap, and anything here criticizing the French is appreciated. Doesn't have to make sense. Well, I don't understand it myself. Lovely people, the French, especially my parents.
Yeah, but they taste all garlicky and slimy and stuff, don't they? Ugh.
Said Will with a face of disgust.
Yes, very witty, Will.
I said to him before I returned to speaking with Jim and Shonda.
Sadly, here you have to know your audience.
I told Jim while I smiled at him, hoping he would never get to know this audience. Thank goodness at that point the distracting advances of Fliss arrived with the drinks. She always distracted Will, but he still managed...
But we will remember Alamo, Jim, we will remember.
Will leaned in conspirationally to the group to offer his glass up for cheers and clinks before asking...
But just for context, Jim, if we're going to remember the Alamo, is that the little red whiny bloke off Sesame Street?
The creatures in the pub are great fans of Sesame Street. They can identify with all of the, monsters.
Stop! Please stop, man. You got me almost crying, man.
Excuse me, but seriously, what is that star on the wall for?
Not a good question to ask, I'm afraid.
He said, as he quickly sat back in his seat. He was right, of course. The atmosphere in the bar changed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How do? I'm Bosworth. I'm afraid I own this place, and that's not kind of question, It's like so you should be asking.
His tone was belligerent and uncaring.
Shonda, we better go.
What do you mean? I'm starving.
As I say, love, it's not a question you should be asking, but they both know where that door is, and I suggest you use it. There's nothing for likes of you. Here.
Bozzy said.
Come on. Shonda, shall we go?
Apparently so.
You don't have to go. They're just a bit touchy about all the magical wards on this place. You can't just let them go.
I told the denizens around the room.
Magical wards? Sure. How much do we owe you?
I'm utterly embarrassed about this, old chap, madam. I shall cover the costs, of course. I am sorry. God be with you. The weather's awful.
Oh, okay. Thanks, mate.
Wait. You can't just let them go.
It's my pub. If I say they're gonna go, they're gonna bloody go.
Oh, and let me just add to the awkwardness, Bozzy. And stay on road. Keep clear of the moors.
Will said in his most Yorkshire accent, taking the piss out of that fine werewolf film's dialogue.
Yeah, okay. Well, thanks again.
Jim said, as he gathered his stuff and helped Shonda with hers.
And beware the moon.
Smirked Will as he raised his glass to them. I felt utterly guilty that the pair left into the horrible night, but it was probably for the best. Wasn't it? Probably.
It is very cold.
Well, what the French toast was that all about? No pun intended.
No. Let's see if there's another inn or something up the road.
What'd he say? Keep clear of the moors? And beware of the moon? Man, where have I heard that before?
Come on, I'm freezing.
We can't let them go.
I said to Will, who already looked as though he'd forgotten the whole thing had ever happened. I hadn't realized that Bosworth the Djinn was listening.
Should the world know our business, Professor?
He asked me. He had a point. We didn't need the human race to know about this place.
Ah, come on, Bosworth. It is a bit rough. A bit rough, get it? Rough. Rough. Me? Werewolf? Rough. Never mind.
He pointed out.
Well, in my humble opinion, Will, Prof, that's better for them to have a cold night on land out there than to die at hand of those things.
He made a gesture to the creatures of the bar.
That was weird. It was the best idea. I guess. Leaving?
I don't know. Now that we're out here, it's like 3 degrees. I'm not sure if I would have rather faced a bloodthirsty mob of cosplayers.
Well, not quite a bloodthirsty mob.
she said as she pulled down her beanie against the cold.
Let's up the pace to get warm.
Do you think I was wrong?
I have no idea. Maybe we were spoiling the game or something.
She replied.
Maybe that star thing on the wall was for something supernatural.
I see. They were too embarrassed to talk about it because they felt so silly, dressed like they were.
She replied as a bolt of lightning rent the air, followed by a roll of thunder.
Oh, come on. Please don't rain.
Said Jim as a sudden deluge fell in upon them.
Say, Jim?
I'm well aware of how pleasant the weather is in Rome at this present time. Thank you very much. Let's not say any more.
Jim replied as he spread his arms and started singing.
Santa Lucia, Santa Lucia, Santa Lucia, Santa Lucia. Hey, it's a cold and wet out here.
Back at the Faeton Arms, the atmosphere was a little quiet and subdued as we all listened to the rain beating against the windows.
Well, I'm bloody glad that I'm not out there.
He smirked. I slammed my hand onto the table. I was bloody annoyed, actually.
What's the matter with you, man? No one brought him here. No one wanted him here. No one.
Will, he said in a derisive tone.
Bozzy, old chap. We could have let them stay, you know. It's horrendous out there now.
I said to the genie. He turned to me as I imagined a thoughtful look on that invisible face.
We shouldn't have pushed them out into that night.
I told the room in general that we're all listening to the conversation between myself and the retired gin landlord.
What are we? Monsters?
Will met my eyes with his glass at his lips and nodded. Oh, yes.
What do you care? They aren't like us. They should not have got in here in the first place. Just forget them. You're just being daft.
He said, but I wasn't going to accept his nonsense.
Listen here.
The thunder tore through the sky, and the building actually rocked. This was no ordinary storm. This was a storm in Faeton, as magical and brutal as the pub's clientele themselves.
Did you hear that, for goodness sake? People. Whatever blood. Things. We must go to...
Will interrupted me.
I heard nothing.
He laughed as he took another drink from his pint. I stared at him, quite disgusted.
Well, I think you're all a bunch of utter blackguards.
I told the crowd.
I'm going to get them, and I'm going to bring them back here.
I said as I put on my jacket and made for the door. I could see the tenseness in the room.
There'll be a fair way off by now, and you can't jack 'em it's dark, and in this weather you would need to be... you have to be able to have senses of maybe a wolf to find them, wouldn't it?
He said as he turned to Will. All the eyes in the room now turned to Will, who was downing the last of his drink and trying to ignore the stares as he did so. Stares. Silent stares. Stares which attacked him.
I'm not bowing to peer pressure, you know.
He said, and then to himself.
Oh, okay, for the love of... all right, shall I go? I'll go. I get the flipping in. If I catch a cold because my fur is wet, then... do you know what? I'll be really bloody unpleasant with all of you.
He said, and then to himself.
Be a werewolf, they tell you. Psychotic, sociopathic, fanged schizoid. Oh no, turns out that you bow to bloody peer pressure after all, don't you, bloody werewolf? Yeah, right.
He mumbled on as he removed and carefully folded his clothing, before transforming into the gigantic black wolfman and striding boldly towards the door whilst giving me a disgusted sneer. I smirked back at him.
Thank you.
I cooed. He snarled and gave me a single-clawed salute before he stormed out into the raging storm.
Did you hear that?
He asked Shonda. They'd been walking for a while now, were out of sight of the village of Faeton.
I heard it, yes. I don't want to hear it again, though.
Have you got any idea what that was?
He asked the woman, expressing concern. Shonda's face a picture of anxiety, so he caught up to her to make them both feel a little safer. It didn't work.
It could be a lot of things, couldn't it?
She asked, in hope, because she knew what it sounded like. She'd heard that sound before. One summer evening in Yellowstone National Park.
Yeah, it could be a lot of things.
He lied, trying to reassure himself as much as the woman.
Perhaps a coyote.
She said.
I don't really think they got any coyotes in England.
He replied.
The Hound of the Baskervilles.
Pecos Bill.
Heathcliff.
I don't recall Heathcliff howling like that.
No, but he was on the moors.
It's a full moon. Beware of the moon.
He quoted as he looked up at the bright white face of the full moon, which briefly shone through the raging clouds.
Stay away from the moors.
They stopped and considered.
I vote we go back to the Faeton Arms.
She said as another howl, a little closer, rent the night.
It's very inhuman. Yeah, I agree. To the pub.
His tone was forthright, and they both started to walk a lot faster, back in the direction that they'd just come from. After a while of speed walking and a lot more howls, each howl getting slightly closer, Jim stopped, somewhat out of breath.
Hey, Shonda, I hate to say it, but I think we're lost.
He said, just as another blood-curdling howl was heard behind them.
Jim, what was that?
You could clearly hear the tone of fear in her voice now.
I don't know. Come on.
Come on. Where? We're lost.
Anywhere but here. Let's just keep moving. I think we should just...
Jim said, as a growl was heard close by. A low, guttural sound from out of the darkness. The pair were silent now, as they heard something. Not a human, but walking towards them. And whatever it was big.
Well, in my mind, I fought with Fen and myself. I wanted to kill them, but that would be held against me in the barn. Why was I allowed no fun? But I didn't want to get barred from the Faeton Arms, to be honest. Best malt selection in all the world. I mean, all the worlds. Having Bosworth there was both a blessing and a problem. Not only could he source any drink you ever wanted from any time period, but he also knew a lie when he heard it. Bloody genius, yeah, them. Fen spoke.
So, saying that they were dead when we found them, that won't go down too well, eh?
Fen, as you know, is my wolf soul, and he wasn't happy, really. He was pretty angry.
Nah, kill him. It's a logical thing to do, then say that you can't find them.
He said. I can't, that Bozzy has the bloody truth-seeker skills, I told him.
It's a nice pub, cheap, no bother. Okay, but we can scare them a little bit, can't we?
I thought about this. Well, you know what? It would be rude not to.
Look, it stopped just there. I can't see it very clear, but it's just standing there now. It's doing something.
I really do not like this. I can hear it now. Just breathing.
She said, as both their gazes strained to see the figure in the night. The fear poured off the pair. The shadow walked slowly towards them in the moonlight. And it was revealed. 8 feet tall, matte black dripping pelt, teeth, claws, a raging snarl. A werewolf. The woman and the man were struck dumb. This was it. They were going to die. Fear upgraded itself to terror, and it hit them like a wave smashing against the shore. They were frozen, not just by the intemperate weather, but by those fire-filled eyes that stared deep into them from the darkness.
Well, Shonda, this is it. It was nice knowing you. You were right. We should have gone to Rome,
he told the shaking woman, moving to hold her hand for mutual support. And then the werewolf became a man. A naked man, actually. An instant change. The man was laughing at the two of them.
Sorry about that. I was just having some fun. Look, I've been sent to bring you back to the bloody pub, okay?
He told the pair, showing his obvious amusement.
Please don't ask me any questions about why. Otherwise, I will just bloody leave you here.
He said, just turning his back and walking away from the pair into the night.
Hold on! Naked?
He whispered to Shonda behind the back of his hand. Shonda looked at him in obvious disbelief.
The naked part is the bit that worries you in this? Really?
Hey, Will!
He shouted as the man started to disappear into the distance.
What?
Jim and Shonda caught up as he turned around and stared at Jim with utter exasperation.
Do they have bangers and mash there? I'm kind of hungry now.
He laughed.
Now we have to bloody kill him, don't we, Will?
Will stood in silence, looking at the man. A big decision was being taken in his head. Every fiber of his being wanted to kill, tear, and torture. In his mind's eye, he did it 100 various ways, each time it being more grotesque and satisfying. Eventually, he made the decision as the rain lashed down once more onto his naked body, cooling the rage that he felt. Just a little. He swiftly turned.
Come on,
he said, like a huffy teen.
Sweet. I'll take that as a maybe.
Oh, for